Kill me! I'm here! Kill me!
Hey everybody, this is Matthew Movies coming at you with my review of the immortal classic action thriller, whodunit, psychological film, The Fugitive. A classic movie in my opinion that I grew up watching over and over and over again with my dad. This, for a long time, was my dad's favorite film, and my dad is a big movie person as well. He's really the reason why I am so passionate about film, but he also really likes to rewatch movies over and over and over again. So essentially there was, about a year period where if there was a moment where he didn't have something to do and we weren't right there with him, all of a sudden, like, we were in the other room, we'd start hearing the opening score to The Fugitive, because if he had a moment to himself, you could bet he was going to throw this movie on. And I will always love this film. I think it is just such a compelling action movie. For those of you that do not know this film, first off, go see it if you're an action film fan, because it is friggin' awesome. It's the story of a doctor by the name of Richard Kimball, who comes home and his wife is killed by the one-armed man, and he gets sent to prison, but he escapes because something happens to the bus that he's on. And so instead of turning himself in, he is obsessed with finding the true killer of his wife. And at the same time, you have Tommy Lee Jones' character, who is a law enforcement, a U.S. Marshal gentleman, who is tracking him down. And he's a good man, but he doesn't care about Harrison Ford's character's pleas for justice. All he cares about is that he was found guilty by 12 of his peers, so he's gonna send him back to prison, and it just goes from there. And it's such a cool movie, because I call it an action movie because there are definitely action sequences in this film. I mean, there's several that are unforgettable if you've seen it, like the bus, the jumping into the water. I mean, there's just so many great action moments in it. But really, this is much more of a whodunit, where you're there with Richard as he's trying to piece together little pieces of evidence and figure out who did this to him and who did this to his wife and destroyed his life. And you know that he didn't do it, and you know that nobody around him believes him, and you're just rooting for him throughout. And then there's all these great moments where he picks up a piece of information here or a piece of information there, and every time the mystery gets solved by a tiny fraction or eventually completely, you are just right there with him, being like, ooh, what would I do now? And there's just so great movie, great scenes, really cool story, performances that are perfection. I mean, the moment that everybody talks about in this film, with there's an interaction between Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford. It's talked about a lot, and there's certain circumstances where there's specific scenes that kind of go into the lexicon, and people remember them best. They aren't necessarily the best moments from a film, and I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best moment from the film, but the moment where they're in the sewer and they interact, there's a reason why it's so classic, because their performances are just so incredible and perfectly encapsulate how they're on different ends of the situation, and why they've come to be at loggerheads. And the moment where Tommy Lee Jones says, "I don't care," the line delivery there, it's just so pitch perfect. It deserves its place in pop culture history. So those are my thoughts on The Fugitive. Let me know in the comments below if you're as big a fan as I am. Let me know if you dislike it, how that's even possible. And please hit that like button, hit that share button. It makes it much more possible that people will check out my videos that wouldn't have otherwise, and I would be endlessly appreciative. And if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. It'll make it so that you find out when I put out new stuff, and you can come and join in the conversation, and that would mean the world to me, because the main reason why I do this is I really enjoy talking to people about film, and I would love to hear your thoughts and have a back and forth. It just absolutely makes my day. Other than that, hey, you have yourself a good day.